YouTube. A web app that is rapidly expanding across all media platforms to the point where it even exceeds the viewing rates of television. It's even on our televisions. It's also on our phones, our tablets, our computers, and even our games consoles. It is safe to say that with the creation of YouTube, it has changed the world for the better, allowing millions of people to create amazing and incredible videos and establish themselves as content creators on the website. But where did YouTube start? YouTube was founded in 2005 by 3 ex-PayPal employees. These guys were Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jared Karim. And only a year after the site was launched, YouTube announced that over 60,000 new videos were being uploaded daily, which eventually caught the attention of corporate giant Google, who bought the company out in October of 2006 for $1.6 billion, which the 3 entrepreneurs took without hesitation and even posted a video showing their gratitude towards Google for buying them out.
Co-founders of the site, and we just want to say thank you. Today we have some exciting news for you. We've been acquired by Google.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to every one of you guys that have been contributing to YouTube, the community. We wouldn't be anywhere
YouTube
close
has now evolved into the biggest video viewing platform on the planet, next to state television. And since 2007, a year after Google purchased the rights, Google introduced the YouTube Partner Program, which allowed content creators to monetize their videos and earn money from advertisers placing their adverts before the video starts. This was revolutionary and caused the site to skyrocket in popularity, attracting thousands of people to the site every single day. Unfortunately, as human nature goes, not everybody was sticking to the rules, and people were uploading shows shown on national television and were generating an income from stolen content. To avoid any ridiculously huge lawsuits from companies such as Fox, YouTube introduced their Content ID system, which was an algorithm designed to detect videos that infringed copyright. This algorithm, though, unfortunately didn't do its job very well. As for every video that receives a copyright strike, there are on average 100 other videos withholding the same content without a copyright strike. This is a problem that still stands today, as large successful YouTube channels constantly avoid copyright strikes, while smaller YouTube channels suffer with demonetization, audio restriction, or having their video taken down altogether. I spoke to Liam, a small YouTuber that goes by the name of Illiterate Cook, who has received many copyright strikes on his videos, to get a little more information on the matter. What type of videos do you make?
I'm more of a post channel. I post random memes as well as make gaming videos with friends.
How do you make them? What software do you use?
The editing software I use is Sony Vegas 14. I tried Premiere Pro, but it's just awful. Sony Vegas 14 is a lot easier to use, but has a lot more problems. I normally go through the editing process of slide the video in, cut it up, and then edit as many memes in as I want.
What memes do those consist of? Like, could you elaborate on the term meme?
I like a good bit of Damn Daniel. Troll faces, they're good. Should I actually... what kind of meme? You know how people just subtitle everything anyone says? Because it looks better, and if you're deaf, you know what they're saying? Makes it funny.
How many copyright strikes have you received?
Well, there's a difference between the big boy copyright strikes, which if you get 3 of those, your channel's terminated, and then the little ones, if you just use some music and some pretentious person's like, oh, that's my song, you can't use that. I've not received a big boy copyright strike because I'm a good girl, but the little ones I've received about like 75 because I use a lot of music I'm not supposed to use. There's an easy way of just getting out of that so that you can still get ad revenue.
What precautions do you take during your editing process to ensure that you're not infringing copyright?
I just follow the rules of fair use. Just use no longer than 30 seconds of a song and don't steal someone else's content without giving credit.
What's your opinion on the injustice between larger and smaller YouTube channels regarding copyright issues?
I mean, I hate it, but if I was in the position of YouTube, I'd probably do the same thing. Because if you're a big YouTube channel, you don't want to demonetize them, because they're going to bring in a lot of money if they get the advertisements. And if you're a small YouTube channel and you use someone else's music or something who's much bigger than you, then it's not worth keeping them monetized.
So would you say YouTube has become, say, like one-sided in the fact that they are boosting those who are already famous instead of not giving any new content creators like the chance to become famous and give them the ad revenue that they deserve.
Yeah, because at this point, if like more people were on the rise, that would mean they'd have to pay out more money to people if they're being child friendly, or if they're making small videos that can't have many advertisements in for very long, but they're getting a lot of money from YouTube anyway because of what they're doing. But if you've got the ones with longer videos that are more child friendly, then you can just throw a bunch of money at them. They can throw a bunch of money at you through advertisements.
This introduction of the Content ID system was a dampener on the site, but this was just the start of a controversial path for YouTube and its users. After YouTube expanded into this multimedia platform, it introduced new aspects to the site, such as YouTube Kids, an extension which content creators were hand-picked for to produce suitable content for children. Unfortunately, this great idea and many others were soon foiled by what some are calling an unnecessary evil that will eventually plague all content creators on the site. YouTube drama. YouTube drama is common between larger and successful channels. The phrase drama only scratches the surface of the negative effects this movement has had on the website and its creators. YouTube Kids, for example, has suffered massively from this movement, and here's how. A popular content creator known as Ethan Bradbury and his brother, who run the channel Mo and ET, made a mistake by uploading a rather controversial video labelled as a prank, where they smoked out a house that had children inside to create the illusion of a house fire. This was supposedly created as an awareness video to show people whether your children really know what to do in the instance of a house fire. Now, please bear in mind that even before this video was released, Ethan was already receiving a negative light from the current community, and this was just the tipping point. He received a massive backlash from the community as people were ultimately mortified with the experiment, which sent other channels into a massive rage. This ultimately killed his current YouTube career, so Ethan and his brother focused on creating children's YouTube content and created the iconic show known as Elsa and Spider-Man, where Ethan and his brother would dress up as the iconic characters and portray stories for children to enjoy. Except, this content was definitely not for children, often putting the characters in fairly explicit situations, especially for kids' content. Why don't you take a look for yourself? Once again, the YouTube community responded extremely negatively to the content, and YouTube didn't really like it either. Eventually, after realising the explicit videos were pulling in over 2 million views each and generating a sizable income whilst breaking YouTube's community guidelines, YouTube eventually took action and shut the channel down for good. Could Ethan have done this because of a backlash from the YouTube community? I went to see a content creator by the name of Simbar, who has been making content on the platform for a while now, to see how he makes his videos and to see his opinions on YouTube drama as a whole. What type of videos do you make?
Difficult question. I make, YouTube poops, as they're known. They're hard to explain, but I suppose I'm just sort of creating comedy by, just splicing things and, just absurd humour, really. Yeah, I love a good brew.
What editing software do you use?
I use Premiere Pro and a bit of Audition. For the occasional sound thing, it's handy. But primarily Premiere Pro.
Premiere Pro?
Yeah.
Have you ever had any copyright issues?
Yeah, no, constantly. Like, a lot of my best videos. Even though I feel they should be falling under fair use. But a lot of the time it's copyright from like studios, because my last video was like a Spider-Man YouTube poop, the old Sam Raimi films, and I used clips from that obviously. Then it just then Sony came along and were like, "No, mate, that's our stuff. You can't just use that." So I get usual strikes.
What is your opinion on Mo and ET in regards to their social experiments / planks? So, like, The video basically where they smoked out a house full of children.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's terrible, but it's really funny. You know, as awful as it is, well, as stupid as it is, it gives me license to make fun of them, and I'm sure it's the same with a lot of YouTubers. You know, I mean, I think people tend to like put themselves on the on the foreground, and they just from that they end up just becoming clowns, really. You know, for everyone else to make fun of, and I think it's perfect.
Do you think the negative response from that video is the reason for Mo and E.T. for creating these absurd kids videos such as the Spider-Man and Elsa?
Probably. I mean, I think they just made complete idiots of themselves, and it's led them to sort of, I don't know, it's just embarrassing. So they've just sort of resorted to, you know, partly I suppose it's because of the negative response, but at the same time, I think they just know it's an easy way to make money and exploit kids, really, which is weird.
They did make a lot of money off that. They made it was like, on one of the videos was 7 million views, so how much revenue do you reckon that was? If you could calculate it quickly.
If I got money from my own videos, I probably would be able to calculate that, but unfortunately, but I'd imagine it's probably a lot. You know, it's embarrassing.
As years went on, YouTube continued to splurge out arguments, bickering, and drama alike, to the point where physical conflict between creators was arranged. As of the making of this factual piece, 2 YouTube giants went head-to-head in an unprofessional boxing match. These were the infamous YouTubers KSI and Joe Weller. The two had a dispute at a video game convention which caused a massive uproar in popularity for both their channels, so the two of them, obviously wanting to prove who is the better man, both trained for 6 months in preparation for their boxing match, which virtually took over the website. The actual fight, though, wasn't as extravagant as the hype train that followed it, but it did bring sporting advertisers back to the website, as they were keen to be a part of the boxing hype. In all honesty, it seemed that the site needed this spurt of drama to fix the critical damage done to monetization on the site. And that was the adpocalypse. The adpocalypse was born from a number of things, but the main reason for the lack of advertisers on the website was the fact that these adverts were being associated with videos that contain hate speech towards other creators or a minority, violent and explicit content towards other creators, or explicit language or images that should not be associated with the product being advertised. Although it seems that the Elsa and Spider-Man videos should have been the catalyst for the adpocalypse, along with many other questionable YouTube channels and videos, it was actually the most popular and well-known creator on the platform that took the blame for the adpocalypse, PewDiePie. Whilst he was streaming PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, he became quite frustrated with the game and accidentally blurted out a racial slur towards black people.
What a fucking jeez, oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, but what the fuck?
People today still believe that PewDiePie was responsible for the adpocalypse, when in actual fact, it has been a combination of all content creators that have fueled this horrible fire. Channels such as Leafy, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Rice Gum, and as much as it doesn't seem like it, even though it should be fairly obvious, even iDubbbz TV and PyroCynical and other favoured channels amongst the YouTube community have played their part in this abuse of generating views from starting trouble with other creators. And though it is rather sad to say, this has driven away the revenue that all creators strive for in the first place. Some are able to completely avoid the ripple of trouble that YouTube's problems causes, but most of us, if not the majority of us, have to remain cautious and maybe even paranoid in some cases about what we are allowed to leave in our videos. And I personally believe that that takes away the main aspect and reason why YouTube became so popular to begin with. And that is the freedom of speech.